So there's a lot going on in media right now. Troy Aikman getting about $18.5 a year to go to ESPN. Joe Buck around 14, 15 million a year. A lot of big moves. You know what? Our buddy Kirk Herbstreit's on the move too. One of you asked, RJ Neal actually asked, Kirk Herbstreit doing double duty now for Amazon and ESPN. What are your thoughts on that? Now, in case you missed this, and a lot of you may have, Andrew Marchand with the New York Post was the first to break this story about a week ago now. So it appears, I don't know that Amazon's put out an official release, but according to Andrew Marchand of the New York Post, Kirk Herbstreit's going to do the Thursday night NFL package for Amazon. Side note, Amazon is going to have Thursday night football. So Kirk Herbstreit doing the Thursday night lead analyst position for Amazon. Now, the first thing that probably pops in your mind is he's leaving college football? No, doesn't appear that way. It appears, according to the report, that he will still fulfill all of his college football duties. That, I assume, is game day and the Saturday night game on ABC. It's a lot of work. Even if you got the PJ, you got the old private jet, it's a lot of work. Probably cut out to do it, though. You know, if we know Kirk Herbstreit like we all think we do by this point, yeah, I think he's cut out to do it. But this is an interesting question because then we got a lot of follow-ups on this. I picked one question, but like 10 of you asked about this. A lot of you just want to know, well, number one, everyone always wants to know how much money someone's making. And fortunately for you, I have some intel on this. Approximately $1 bazillion. That's how much Herbstreit signed with Amazon for. So congratulations there. Next question that a lot of you have is, why in the world is the talent in the booth being paid, in some cases, more than the talent on the field? This is where you get a lot of folks into pretty heated arguments. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of behind-the-scenes media look, and not necessarily even my opinion on this. My opinion is, good for Kirk Herbstreit, everybody go get as much money as you can. That's my opinion on it. Don't forget where you came from, I guess would be my follow-up. But secondly, you know, you got to understand the evolution. Think about the way that you watch college football or watch the NFL. You have watched it forever on CBS or NBC or Fox. And because you've always known you have to go to those legacy media outlets to consume those big sporting products like the NFL, it's never been necessary for them to have big names in the booth, recognizable names. They've had them, but they weren't necessary because you're going to watch Steelers-Bengals even if you have to watch it on mute. Some of you watch the game on mute anyway. Some of you do not care for the broadcast experience during a game. That's your prerogative. The data shows vast majority of you do listen to the broadcast feed, and so therefore, for a long time, you had one approach. Well, now you have non-legacy entities entering the equation. Your Amazons, for example, they won't be the last, they're just the one there now. Netflix could be there, of course, YouTube TV there. Well, anyway, those are not places that you have been trained to go. And so what do they have to do? They have to attract you there. Now, having the product itself, if it's desirable enough, people will go find it. And we all know that. I mean, every metric in our industry shows that. But it helps to have attractive names attached to your product, especially if you are a non-legacy outlet or an entity like Amazon. And so that's why they're willing to do that. Also, I don't know if you've noticed, but it's Amazon. So they're worth a lot of money. They have it to throw around. We just broke the news that Herbstreit's making $1 bazillion. Even that is still only a small sliver of the Amazon pie. They're doing it because they can, and they're doing it because it's very smart business. But I think it's crazy to look at, and I think it's sending kind of a reverberation throughout that industry. It makes people like me wonder why I never got in the booth or tried out. I did Columbus Lions games for a while, so if anyone's listening, I don't even require $1 bazillion. I'll take half that. Right? You know what? The philanthropic side of me is even willing to take a quarter of that to go do games in the booth. But real talk here. You know, it's an evolution now. You've never seen guys make anywhere close to that much, which brings you back to a guy in Kirk Herbstreit who you've always viewed as a college football lifer. I mean, I can't imagine when this offer was put on his plate. There were rumors. There are always rumors about what everyone's going to do next. But, you know, you would always hear things about Kirk Herbstreit and other names and, you know, maybe that Monday Night Football spot or maybe an NFL spot. And he's done some NFL games. This wouldn't be a first for him. But how do you say no to this? Who in the world, I dare anyone to tell me they'd say no to this. You're talking about generationally life-changing money, just doing it for 6 months or 5 months for one time. For all I know, he'll do it for the next decade. But man, you do this once. You spin that wheel once. You have lined your pockets and the pockets of your grandchildren, great-grandchildren for a long time to come. So congratulations there. I don't think it's the last big name from the traditionally college-type landscape that is going to test the waters of the NFL. That's kind of the way it is now. Now, I'll tell you what else is interesting. This new concept of, it used to be that a guy worked for a company. Well, now you're seeing guys wear one blazer with a logo on it for 1 week, and then the next night they're on another network. That's another interesting concept. When you mix TV and digital, when you mix TV and streaming, just telling you the contracts, the way they're written in our industry, the language is being updated. In fact, there are lawyers working on that as we speak, because it used to be you had to guard against your guys going and doing work for other networks. Well, now, what in the world was Amazon 5 years ago, 10 years ago? It wasn't anywhere that your on-air talent was ever going to do an NFL game. A lot of interesting times that we're in right now. But that's my thought there. Good for Kirk Herbstreit. That's my stance on that.